Welcome to Ireland. Once upon a time, there were two farms. The Muldoon farm, where Rosemary lived, and right down the road was my farm.
What a delightful film. To me, it feels kind of a fable. It has the generational problem and, you know, the idyllic surrounding. Did you see it that way?
Yeah, I mean, I start the film off by, you know, once upon a time. Yeah. And that kind of is a giveaway. That's
a good giveaway.
Yeah. And, you know, so some of the stuff in the film is metaphorical for struggles that we all have about what we don't think is acceptable to another person. And that we all, you know, the character that Emily Blunt plays at the end actually says the theme of the film, which is unusual for me. She just says, everybody thinks there's something they're not. And that should not be an obstacle that is so great that it prevents one from finding love.
My son, Anthony, asked his lonely question of the stars.
Why did you make me so?
This is your background. Ireland is your background. And I read on IMDb, it says here that you stayed away from it until you were over 40. Why is that? When I started out as a young writer, I didn't want to get, I saw that there was a certain impetus in New York to pigeonhole me as an Irish-American writer. So I would never write about the Irish. But also it helped me to write about Italian Americans who I grew up with, because it's good to have a little distance, to fool yourself into telling the truth.
There's these green fields, and there's us. Whatever that is, it holds me here.
When he says those things.
It's not normal.
I don't care.
Now, this film, as you say, is a real departure for you in my view. It's light. It's a romance, a sweet romance. It is a great departure. You've dealt with very tough subjects and, you know, profound issues, and this is just so human, so real. You aware that you were doing this, or did it just?
Well, you know, different times in your life bring out different colors in your work, and you know, certainly I've gotten older, and I have been both a son and a father. Now, which when I was younger I had not yet been, and I've seen the struggles, you know, that are unavoidable in families, and at the same time, the resolution of those struggles in a good way is very possible. And I think in general, I've always sort of wanted to be a little prescriptive as opposed to describing what I've seen and what I've experienced. I've gone beyond that a little bit to say, you know, if you did it this way, things might turn out better. And family's been a big part of that.
My cousin is coming. What do you think?
It's the finest car I've ever seen.
Get out from the farm to an American.
I'm waiting for that one.
You've assembled a dream cast, and I kind of like to think that they wanted to work with you, but they also wanted to be in Ireland.
It was what they told me was it was the script.
Yes.
You know, yes, they wanted to work in Ireland, but they just wanted to play those scenes. Maybe especially, well, actually, Chris Walken told me as much. You know, he read the big father-son scene, and he knew he wanted to do that film.
You have Emily and Jamie singing. It just gave me goosebumps. It was so timeless and traditional and gorgeous. Did you know that these two could sing? Because I certainly didn't.
Well, I knew that Emily could. She played Mary Poppins and sang her brains out. amongst other things. Jamie, I didn't know, but he told me, you know, when I first offered him the role,
I asked him, can you sing? And he said yes. And I left it at that because I wanted in the film for them to sing as gifted amateurs rather than, belting out an Irish folk song. I wanted it be about Emily trying to communicate with Chris Walken's character to remind him of his wife that he'd lost, that he loved so much.
Rosemary Muldoon besotted with love.
Chris Walken narrates the story, and he does a great job of that. There's something about his voice and his delivery that's very stirring. And I imagine that was part of your reason for hiring him.
Yeah, as I said to somebody recently, I didn't hire Chris Walken for his accent. I hired him for his soul.
Yeah.
He's a one of a kind. He's a one of a kind.
It's not normal.
I don't care.
You take after John Kelly, and that man was mad as the full moon.
What are you working on next?
I don't know. And the reason I don't know is, I feel like the pandemic has created a complete before and after thing, and that we have been kind of forced by Providence into an extended period of contemplation about the choices we've made in our lives. And maybe a lot of us have resolved to operate in a somewhat different way going forward once we're free to go forward again.
You kissed him!
It was he that kissed me!
That's what's got him worked up!
I don't understand you people. Why do you make everything so hard? You just seem to accept these crazy things.
I don't like a fight.
Well, who does?
Half of Ireland, just not me.
If my true love, he were gone, I would surely find another.
Anthony, time is running out.
What is love? Is it a quest?
What are you doing?
A madness?
How many days do we have while the sun shines?
It's not shining.
I believe that it is.
Will you call, lassie, go?